Ciancórla, thanks very much indeed. Just to say at the outset, thanks to government for facilitating this time. Whenever the vote is, I'll be back to vote against the Pact or our opting in at this point in time. I think, as other members have said, we're putting the cart before the horse. Some of us are old enough to remember the Amsterdam Treaty in '98, which we voted for, and our two outings on Lisbon in 2008 and 2009. It's worth noting that we looked for certain things in that, and we got to ask ourselves, what has changed since then to want us to unilaterally remove the safeguards we sought, to now decide, without consulting the people directly, to opt out? That's a problem for me. Only 3 of the current cabinet, in fact only 3 of the 18 who attend cabinet, including the chief whip, the super juniors and so on, were around these houses in 1998. In fact, the new deputy leader of Fianna Fáil was just 8 years old. And I think it would be worthwhile if some of us examined the reasons why we needed and sought those opt-outs at that time. Minister Burke earlier on said about opting out, there's no plan. How can you opt out when there's no plan? He spoke of Brexit. But yet what you want us to do is to opt in to the Migration Pact when we evidently and demonstrably have no plan, such that, as Deputy Marian Harkin has rightly pointed out, we want to legislate after the fact, when it will be a fait accompli. This is what we must do. We have opted in. Now, the reality is there a removal of parts of our sovereignty sought very specifically in the Treaty of Amsterdam and the Treaty of Lisbon? And the answer to that question is yes. And again, as Marian Harkin rightly pointed out, it will be decided by others under qualified majority voting just how many European colleagues feel Ireland are capable of taking in the future. Now, we have the lowest population per square kilometre in Ireland, in Europe. It's 71, Ciancórla. It's 279 in Belgium, 94 in Spain, 137 in Denmark. I wonder where they're going to feel the capacity exists. And that will be a fait accompli. And whatever 8-year-old today is sitting at cabinet then, when in Brussels it is determined, actually, we feel that of the 2.5 billion people who wish to migrate north, Ireland are in a position, given the low density of population there, to do what they want. But in any event, Minister, and I don't know what age you were or where you were in '98, but I was in these houses. And it was for a reason. And that reason remains. I'm not anti-migration. I'm on a medical cert to be absent from these houses for pericarditis. I am here this evening to point out what I've been saying for the last 2.5 years. There is no strategic approach to migration over there. None whatsoever. We've taken a headless chicken approach. We decided to take over our tourism business to house people in Ukraine while incentivizing them to come. You're saying there's a plan when we have hundreds of people on the canals. It is an insult to the people of Ireland that ye are dressing this up, that any dissenting voice is a loony hard right. There's no hard right in this country, thankfully. Those few loonies who always existed got their answer in local and other elections. But don't be fooled that because you're in the centre, that everybody supports your headless chicken approach to migration. They do not. I'm a centrist politician. I've helped more migrants and asylum seekers than yet you have in your career. I'm proud to do it. And yes, we need them as workers. But you need a plan, you need legislation, and you need a system that works before you hand the authority to anybody but ourselves in terms of QMV. I'd ask you to go back and examine the whys of the opt-outs we sought in the Lisbon Treaty and the Amsterdam Treaty, because they are more necessary today, so that we maintain our level of sovereignty over a system we design, which we have heretofore showed we are incapable of doing. I will vote against this, and on a medical cert or not, whenever that vote is scheduled to take place, I'll be here to do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.